In the shadows of history, some of the most chilling tales are not of battles or mythical beasts, but of science gone awry. Today we delve into some of the darkest experiments ever conducted on humans. Experiments that cross the boundaries of ethics and morality, leaving behind a trail of shattered lives and unanswered questions. Join me if you dare as we unearth these chilling accounts, exposing the fragility of humanity and the seductive power of unchecked ambition. The year is 1943. The place, Auschwitz-Birkenau, a name synonymous with unimaginable horror. Amidst the gas chambers and crematoriums, a different kind of evil was at work. This was the realm of Josef Mengele, the angel of death, a man whose twisted obsession with genetics knew no bounds. Mengele's gaze fell upon the camp's most vulnerable inhabitants' twins. Seeing in them a grotesque opportunity to unlock the secrets of heredity, he embarked on a campaign of unspeakable cruelty. Imagine, if you will, the terror of a child ripped from their mother's arms, their innocent eyes reflecting the flames of the crematorium. This was the fate that awaited so many twins at Auschwitz. But for those who caught Mengele's eye, a different kind of horror awaited. They became his unwilling subjects, poked, prodded, and subjected to agonizing procedures, all in the name of science. Mengele's experiments were as varied as they were barbaric. He would inject dyes into the eyes of twins, attempting to change their color, often leaving them blinded or with excruciating pain. Surgical procedures were performed without anesthesia, their small bodies racked with unimaginable pain. Blood transfusions between mismatched twins, a desperate and often fatal attempt to understand the complexities of the human body. The twins, subjected to Mengele's twisted curiosity, were but a number to him, their individual lives meaningless in his pursuit of scientific acclaim. He meticulously documented his findings, his cold, clinical notes a chilling testament to the horrors inflicted upon these innocent souls. Photographs from that time show the faces of these children, their eyes hollowed by fear, their bodies scarred by Mengele's cruel hand. The lucky ones, if we can use such a term, perished from the experiments themselves, escaping further torment. Others were left disfigured, their minds and bodies irrevocably scarred. The trauma they endured, the loss of their twin, their innocence, remained long after the fall of the Third Reich. Mengele's actions stand as a stark reminder of the depths of human depravity, a chilling testament to the horrors that can unfold when science is divorced from conscience. The echoes of his crimes reverberate through history, a warning to future generations of the fragility of human life and the importance of safeguarding our shared humanity. The story of Mengele's twins is a harrowing reminder that even in the darkest depths of human history, there were glimmers of resilience. Some of the twins, against all odds, survived. They carried with them the physical and emotional scars of their ordeal, but they also carried the indomitable spirit of those who had endured the unimaginable. Their stories, often shared with a mix of pain and defiance, serve as a testament to the strength of the human spirit, a beacon of hope amidst the darkness. It is their voices, the voices of the victims, that must continue to remind us of the consequences of unchecked ambition and the importance of remaining vigilant in the face of oppression. The icy grip of winter held Europe captive during World War II, but for the prisoners of Dachau concentration camp, the cold was more than just weather. It was a weapon. Hundreds of souls became unwilling participants in a series of experiments designed to test the limits of human endurance to cold. Obsessed with finding a way to prevent hypothermia among German soldiers on the Eastern Front, the prisoners of Dachau were seen as expendable resources. The methods were as brutal as they were scientifically dubious. Imagine being plunged into a tank of ice water, your naked body exposed to the biting cold, your every instinct screaming for you to escape. This was the reality for many prisoners at Dachau. Rascher meticulously recorded their every shiver, every drop in body temperature, every gasp for air, all in the name of advancing medical knowledge. But behind the veneer of science lay a chilling indifference to human suffering. The screams of the prisoners, their bodies slowly succumbing to the cold, were nothing more than data points to Rascher. Different methods of rewarming were experimented with, from near boiling water to the forced body heat of other prisoners. Each experiment brought with it a fresh wave of agony, a testament to the depths of human cruelty. The images from that time are difficult to comprehend. Emaciated bodies, contorted in pain, their eyes vacant and hollowed by suffering. The chilling indifference on the faces of the guards, a stark reminder of the dehumanizing power of ideology. Diagrams of the experimental setups, cold and sterile, belie the unimaginable suffering they represent. The chilling reality is that many of the breakthroughs Rasher claimed were based on flawed data and unethical practices. His pursuit of knowledge was tainted by a callous disregard for human life, a stark reminder that science without conscience is a dangerous path. The legacy of Rasher's experiments extends far beyond the icy confines of Dachau. It serves as a chilling reminder of the ease with which humans can inflict suffering on one another, particularly when driven by ideology or ambition. The cries of the victims, frozen in time, serve as a warning to future generations, a reminder to never forget the cost of unchecked scientific exploration. Their stories, though difficult to hear, are essential to understanding the full scope of human cruelty and the importance of ethical boundaries in scientific research. We must learn from the past, not shy away from it, to ensure that such atrocities are never repeated. Declassified documents, often heavily redacted, offer a chilling glimpse into the program's scope and ambition. Under the guise of national security, they embarked on a series of experiments that would leave an indelible stain on the history of human research. MKUltra's methods were as varied as they were unethical. Subjects, often unwitting participants, were subjected to a battery of mind-altering techniques. Powerful hallucinogenic drugs like LSD were administered in massive doses. Their minds plunged into terrifying and unpredictable trips, hoping to break down their sense of self and rebuild it in the image the CIA desired. Hypnosis, electroshock therapy, even sensory deprivation were all employed in a relentless pursuit of control. Imagine a world where your thoughts are not your own, where your actions are controlled by unseen forces. This was the terrifying reality the CIA sought to create. The year is 1953. The world is gripped by Cold War paranoia, and in the clandestine halls of power, a different kind of battle is being waged, a battle for the human mind. This is the story of MKUltra, the CIA's top-secret mind control program, a project shrouded in secrecy and steeped in controversy. Its aim to unlock the secrets of the human psyche, to control thoughts, manipulate memories, and even erase entire identities. They reveal a world where human beings were reduced to lab rats, their minds and bodies seen as nothing more than tools to be manipulated. The long-term impact of these experiments was often devastating. Many subjects suffered from severe psychological trauma, plagued by flashbacks, paranoia, and shattered minds, the echoes of the experiments haunting them for years to come. The true extent of MKUltra's reach remains unknown, much of the program's documentation destroyed in a desperate attempt to cover up the atrocities committed. But the stories that have emerged paint a disturbing picture of a government agency operating with unchecked power, willing to sacrifice the well-being of its citizens in the name of national security. MKUltra serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of transparency and accountability, especially when it comes to matters of the mind. It is a story that continues to resonate today, a cautionary tale about the fragility of the human psyche and the seductive power of control. In the heart of Yale University in 1963, a groundbreaking experiment unfolded, one that would forever change our understanding of human behavior. The Milgram experiment, led by psychologist Stanley Milgram, sought to explore the limits of obedience to authority, and its findings were as shocking as they were profound. Imagine yourself as a participant in this experiment. You are told that you are taking part in a study on learning and memory. You are seated before a panel of switches, each labeled with increasing voltage, ranging from a slight shock to a potentially lethal jolt. In another room, strapped to a chair, is another participant, or so you believe. Your task is simple: to administer an electric shock every time the other participant, the learner, answers a question incorrectly. With each wrong answer, the voltage increases. As the experiment progresses, the learner begins to cry out in pain, begging you to stop. You hesitate, your conscience screaming at you to cease, but the experimenter, a figure of authority, calmly instructs you to continue. What would you do? Would you defy the experimenter's orders or succumb to the pressure of authority? This was the question at the heart of Milgram's experiment. The results were startling. Over 65% of participants, ordinary men and women, were willing to administer what they believed to be potentially fatal shocks, simply because they were told to do so by an authority figure. The experiment revealed a dark side to human nature, a willingness to obey orders, even when they conflict with our moral compass. Footage from the original experiment shows the anguish on the faces of the participants, torn between their conscience and their desire to please the authority figure. Reenactments of the experiment conducted years later have yielded similar results, suggesting that Milgram's findings remain relevant today. The Milgram experiment serves as a stark reminder of the power of social influence and the ease with which ordinary people can be complicit in acts of cruelty. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about ourselves, to acknowledge the influence of authority figures, and to recognize the importance of critical thinking and moral courage. The legacy of Milgram's experiment is a call to action, a reminder that we must always question authority and be willing to stand up for what we believe is right, even when it is difficult. These experiments, cloaked in the guise of scientific advancement, remind us of the dark potential of human curiosity. Let us learn from the past and advocate for ethical science. Thank you for joining me on this somber journey through history.